Alright guys, how's it going? It's January 13th, I think, or something today. I'm not even sure. So, we are heading up to Swift Current here. And it is crazy windy. I got my phone all rigged up in my truck here, so I have hands-free. Right now, the current wind is gusting 110 kilometers an hour, and it's just starting to snow. Power is out in most places due to either it's blowing some power lines over, or they're shorting out with the wires connected to each other, or so on and so forth. So, I'm hoping the power is going to be on in Speedy Creek when I get there, because I'm starting to get hungry. I haven't eaten lunch yet, and it's like, I don't know, 4 p.m. Now, I'm a little concerned. Weather is sitting around +2. It was +8. Oh yeah, okay, so we're starting to get a little slush on the road. A little worried if the roads start getting icy, because when you get winds gusting 110 kilometers, actually I think it's supposed to gust to 130 kilometers, it will literally just blow you off the road. You can be in four-wheel drive, you could have the best tires, studded tires, it would literally just push you right off the road into the ditch. So, I'm hoping, really hoping, that doesn't happen. Because that would just put a damper on our evening. Now, like I said, it's just starting to snow. It's +1. You always get your worst roads around +1, +2. It was +8 when I left home with the sun shining, and now this snow has definitely worked itself in, and it's gotten cloudy, and we're gonna get some bad roads here. So Mike, why are you going to town if it's really windy or nasty out? Because Ashton's actually in Swift. She's doing business in there. I'm in Swift half the time. I have a place there in town, and I do all my uploading and YouTube editing and stuff in Swift. As you know, that's the best Wi-Fi, and yeah, that's where we're going. Well, Mike, how often do you commute back and forth? Actually, that's a good question. I bet you I'm almost 50-50. I might even be 70-30, 70% of the time in Swift Current on evenings. No, not during the work days, on evenings. So that means I'm working at the farm back home, and I turn back around and I drive back in at night. And then I typically will leave. I'm up really early, maybe, like this morning I was up at about 20 after 3 a.m. Working on YouTube stuff, working on business, and then I try and leave at a good time, maybe around that 6 or so, and then head home. Get home for, it's still dark, the sun's not up until like 8:30 or 9 in the morning. And then you're typically working, doing whatever you're doing, and then head back again in the evening. So these roads are getting slushy. So we got a long way to go, you guys. Oh, we're sliding around here. This is not going to be fun. This is not turning off my traction control. I don't want that on. I am in four-wheel drive already. There is enough snow in those ditches to get us stuck if we were to slide in. I sure hope we don't. It's probably going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Mostly because it's only 110 gusting, and it's supposed to get to 130 gusting. And there's supposed to be more snow coming. I'm worried we're going to have whiteout. If we have whiteout conditions, like if I can't get home before this puppy fully hits, good thing I got my fuel tank in the back, because we're spending the night in the truck. And I'm hungry. Always carry a chocolate bar. You should always carry some food in your truck, I guess, for these times. Boy, oh boy. I'm just going to do the brake test here. Oh yeah, she's a little slippery. Mike, did you just stomp on the brakes? Yes, I did. In a controlled environment, yes, I did. That's how I like to know, I like to feel the highway. I want to feel it. I don't want to just see it, I want to feel it. Oh, by the way, I did order new tires. So I ordered Cooper's something. I can't remember what they are. Cooper's 10 ply. They're 10 ply. Yes, I have 10 ply tires on my truck currently with 46,581 kilometers, and they are warped, balled right out, and we are going down icy roads with bald tires. That's correct. Okay, guys, turn it off here for a minute. Going down the valley, meeting the semi. So, as there's getting to be more and more slush on the road all the time, not only do you have to worry about icy roads, but slush. So slush is actually quite dangerous. So you get about an inch of slush or a little bit more. We don't have very much on the roads yet, as you can see, but that will actually grab your vehicle and yank it in any direction it sees fit. And you can steer your tires aggressively in whichever direction you think you need to get out of it, and it won't mean a hill of beans. I've seen so many times where vehicles get caught in slush and it just yanks them right to the ditch, or worst case scenario, it will just pull you right into oncoming traffic and you're completely helpless. There's nothing you can do. Doesn't matter if you have the best tires in the world, doesn't matter if you have a pile of weight, all those things do help obviously, but that's how we ditched our semi. It got caught in a bunch of slush. I think the slush was about 4 inches thick. And I don't remember how fast he was going. Obviously, he wasn't going that fast when you're driving in slush 4 inches thick. But it grabbed that whole loaded semi and just took it right into the ditch. So, oh boy. So you really want to be careful with that. I feel bad for these semis. So, if you're going to be on bad roads with a semi, because I am a semi driver as well, I want to be loaded. Yes, yeah, it takes you a little bit longer to stop, you would think. But when you're loaded, it takes a lot to break that semi loose from that pavement, and you want to be loaded. You do not want to be empty. That is my personal experience anyway. I have a question. Have you ever hit the ditch, like with the pickup truck or semi truck or anything due to bad roads? I have not actually. I've been very fortunate. Good Lord definitely looked out for me. I have not hit the ditch. I've had some close calls. I've got spun out on the hill. Like I told you, we got a big hill, big valley we got to get through. I think it's 6 and 7% grades on each side, and I have spun out on that. I have slid down that. I have gone down that, and my trailers were going to pass me going down that. I've had lots of close calls, but I have not hit the ditch as of yet. So I'm really thankful for that. Good question. Well, Mike, have you ever gotten have you ever pulled over, gotten storm stayed? Have you ever had where it's just too dangerous to go? Yes, I have. I have pulled over on the side of the road. So that's the thing, you guys. It gets super dangerous if you're going to have a pile of people just pulling off to the side of the road, or if they're going super duper slow, slower than they need to be going. That's just creating hazards. I do not want to get rear-ended with somebody coming up and smacking into behind me. So make sure you run with your flashers on if you hit bad weather, whiteout conditions, and pull over and keep driving. Do not stop on the highway. Find an approach, get in the approach. I will drive down the ditch and park in the ditch if I have to. It's way too dangerous to be on the highway because someone might be coming way too fast and rear end you. I can see we're starting to lose some of our visibility here. The highway's starting to ice up now. I'm just worried that it's going to push me off. If I would have known that I would have been on some bad roads, I would have filled up my fuel tank and added a little extra weight. You guys are like, oh man, Mike, it's awesome in the video. The video doesn't give it full representation. But no, we've been in a lot worse, that's true. But you guys, you gotta remember, it isn't here yet, it's still coming. Some terrifying things that I have encountered when I was hauling grain in a semi-truck. So up here, it's what we call it's a terminal up here, right on the Trans-Canada Highway, and So we have to cross one lane. We don't have overpasses like what they have in the US very often. We don't have these big interstates going all over the place. You have to cross the Trans-Canada, which is our main 4-lane highway, okay? So I remember it being blowing so bad, and meanwhile I probably should have stayed. Was it blowing? Actually, it might have just been foggy. Either way, visibility was zero, basically zero. And I remember seeing enough where I could drive, but I couldn't see enough if any traffic was coming. And I remember, like, man, I have to cross this 2-lane Trans-Canada highway, which is busy, and I can't see if anybody's coming. Like, it's like Russian roulette. You put it in a high gear, you do not stop it, you do not put it in first gear. You stick it in like 5th gear or something, so that way you can spin the tires a little bit and get the heck going. And it's like Russian roulette. It's like putting a gun to your head and pulling a trigger, and you just hope for the best. That was terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, that was terrifying. I didn't like that at all, because you put other people in danger too, right? Because they don't see you. They might be clipping along, hopefully not at 110, and then smack right into the side of your semi. So and there's no way of getting out. That needs to be overpasses there, for sure. Alright guys, so the snow has stopped blowing. Now it's pretty much just windy, and the roads are getting icier all the time. It actually blew me to the other side of the white line, so to my right there, and it woke me up anyway. Yep, got my old ticker going just a little bit. Didn't like that. So the roads definitely improved once I got to Gull Lake. This is where all of our grain has to come, and so we're quite happy about that. As in me, myself, and I. There's nobody else in here with me. So I will let you guys go. You guys have yourself a good one. The storm hasn't made it here yet, so I will carry on to Swift Current, which is about another half hour, 35 minutes east on the Trans-Canada. See you later, alligators. Okay guys, so that big terminal that's coming up there to your right, that is one of the terminals that we would haul to. I might even pull in there here. See how you have to cross this highway that I'm on to get to the left-hand side of the Trans-Canada over there to go westbound? So it can be challenging if it's foggy. Let's go check this terminal out. Now, remember, this is just one terminal. But in case some of you guys don't really know what a terminal is, I just want to show you, okay? That's the purpose of this. It's not to advertise. You know that I do not promote. Oh, yeah, so you guys know that I don't promote anything. So all I'm doing is just want to show you guys what these terminals kind of look like. Maybe we could even take a tour of one day. So this first big building that's coming up, this is where they store all their dry fertilizer. They would have phosphate in there, they would have nitrogen in there, and so on and so forth. So then they use a big loader, like a big payloader, to basically feed. I don't know, I know they use loaders in there, because it's all concrete walls. Hold on one sec, let's get a different view. Oh, get a little wider view here. So I don't even know how many tons this big building is. I just know it's a lot of tons, okay? Hey, Southwest Terminal, how big is your fert shed? And can we get a tour? We want a tour. Look how long this thing is. It's gotta be as long as a football field. So that track to your right, that is the that's the main line. I think that's CP or CP Rail, Canadian Pacific Rail. So that takes it all the way out to the Port of Vancouver, I do believe. That's where all of our grain goes. It's got to get out to a big boat and get loaded on a boat. So, hold on, let me pick this thing up. This is their fert shed. brace for the wind. It's going to get windy. You're right, that's too windy. So they can load, by the look of it, 4 semis at a time. I don't know. I just see 4 bays. We got to get a tour of this place one day. Let's go over and look at the other side. Oh, by the way, their power's off. Everyone's power's off. You guys know that already because of the storm. Now, that other shed over there, that smaller one, that is their chemical shed. Okay? That's where like your herbicides, fungicides, insecticides would be stored. And then that is the actual terminal itself where they buy your grain. I don't even know how many tons these bins are, but I know it's a lot. And this little yellow probe here, right there, so you pull up with your semi and they probe you. No, not that kind of probing, but you know, too far, Mike, too far. But it's like a big gigantic vacuum on steroids, and they probe every hopper, not you, and it goes all the way back into their main office, and then they're already grading it. So by the time you get in there, because they're all lined up, right? They already know what bin your grain is going to go into. Wow, I think I smeared things here. It's not getting any better. And so there is 2 bays here, but I think there's only 1 complete bay, which means there's one bigger than the other. Seems to me, since I've last hauled in here, unless they've upgraded, in which case they have. It's been a while since we hauled to this particular terminal. So the main part of it's all made out of concrete, and then they have these big bins here. And this building is their office, which we won't go in right now, but they must have generators because they have lights on in there. I guess that would make sense. So that's all their offices. They got a lot of offices. This used to be their FERT storage plant. I do not know what they use it for now, since they've upgraded to that gigantic warehouse. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So there's 4 bins on each side. 4 big bins. Okay? And then there's a gigantic concrete one itself. So there you go. That is what we call a terminal. They buy our grain, they store it, and then they fill like 100-car trains all the time, and from there it goes out to Vancouver, I do believe. Oh, sorry, I opened my window. I know it's, yeah, you're right, that's too windy. I'm gonna close it back up. Just thought it'd be a little clearer here. So anyway, what do you guys think? Should we see if we can't tour some of these big terminals? Be kind of fun. Figure out how fast they can load a car, how fast they can load a train, how many tons they have for storage, how many trains they have for storage, so on and so forth. I think that'd be a fun time. If we can ever have some spare time, which that's probably not looking too good. Never looking good for spare time, but it'd be fun. Okay, guys, now I'm gonna let you go. I'm heading to town, which I'm almost there. See you later.